Hello everyone. Welcome to Ask Amrita and Bela on child development. In this video, we're going to be answering two questions that we've got from all of you by email on child development. So the first question is, my child keeps running away from the online class. Yes, Rajeshri, your child does run away from online class, and I've seen a lot of this happening during the pandemic. Children are not used to online classes. This is not the most natural way of learning for any 3 or 4 year old. I don't know, you haven't specified the age of your child, but children who are in this stage in the early years do not want to sit in front of a screen and learn. They want to touch, feel, speak, they want to look, they want to use their senses to learn. So I really get that your child is not interested in the online class and that is giving you a lot of trauma. But I want you to consider a couple of things. Maybe your child has not had enough sleep, or maybe your child is hungry, or maybe your child has not gone to the toilet, or it could be that your child is not ready and has not oriented himself for the class. So I want you to consider and understand that every child below 8 years needs 12 hours of sleep. So if your child has not got 12 hours of continuous sleep, the child could be crabby and upset and angry, and those possibilities may not allow him to enjoy the class. Another thing is, when we go out, we're properly prepared for it. So if you were to go for a wedding tomorrow, you would plan your sari, you would schedule your day, you would decide what you're going to wear, how you're going to look, what time you're going to leave. So it's very important for us to schedule the online class for our child. We need to tell the child that we have a class at this time, the day prior. So the child is prepared. The child gets up at a particular time after having a restful sleep. A child gets to eat his breakfast before going on to the class. I personally get very crabby if I don't get to eat my breakfast or my meals on time. So children need to eat their breakfast. And it cannot be a hurried breakfast because they don't understand the urgency. So we've got to plan enough time for them to eat their breakfast, enough time for them to get ready for the class, prepared, have a bath, wear class clothes. Make it exciting for them. Tell him, your child, that you have a class, you're going to meet all your friends, you're going to meet your teacher, you're going to be doing some songs, you're going to do some rhymes. Your excitement will also pass on to that child. So it's very important to take care of this physiological, well-being of the child and getting him prepped for the class. Another reason could be your child has watched a lot of screen. So when a child engages with the screen, with the games, or just looking at the screen, a child is bored and doesn't want to be in the class. It's also addictive to be on a screen and just watch and not interact. So that could be one possible reason. It's very important to limit your screen time and keep screen time aside for your class time. So your child is excited about seeing the screen. Another reason is, I have seen a lot of parents and they just want their child to know everything. So if your child has already learned what the teacher is going to teach him, there is no novelty. So this could not only be with an online class, and I've seen it multiple times in a regular class. When there is no novelty, the child gets bored. So if your teacher is going to be teaching him numeral 1, please do not go on and teach your child 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait for the teacher to do that. Tell him this is 1 if she has taught him 1, and tell him this is more than 1. So your child is excited about learning the next number. So if you keep these tips in mind, I think your child will sort of adjust to the class.
The second question for the day is, can you please share with us some tips on classroom management? I will be sharing 3 tips with all of you. The very first thing you need to do is to plan your day. You need to plan every minute of the day with purposeful activities. Display the schedule so children can see it and know what's going to happen next. All kids love to know, okay, after this we'll be doing this, then we'll be doing that. So make it very, very clear to the children. Children love routines and regularity. For example, if you start your day with prayers, followed by circle time, and then maybe language development, creative development, maybe you have a break then you have number development, and then a story time. But try and stick to the same routine for at least 1 month, because kids love that routine. Then before class begins, make sure that you have all your materials ready and you know your lesson inside out. Very, very important. For instance, when you are doing a creative activity that requires paints, you need to ensure that your paints are ready. You cannot give the paper to the children and then go and make the paint. What's going to happen? The kids are going to play with the paper, maybe even tear the paper, and then what do? We are the ones who get angry at the children and say that you're a naughty child, you've torn the paper. But it's actually our fault for not keeping everything ready. So please ensure that you have kept everything ready for the activity or whatever you're doing in the class. The second tip is, when you give children an activity to do, we need to keep in mind that some children will complete the task early and some may take time, because some kids are really very fast and some kids are taking their own sweet time. But we have to be prepared for all these things. So we give them certain tasks, keep tasks ready for the children, for those who finish early. For example, what we can do, suppose you have given the children some coloring worksheet to do, and after you finish the demo, normally you give a demo of the worksheet. Once the demo is over, you ask it, before you can ask the children to go to the place and do the coloring, we need to give them very, very clear instructions. We need to tell them that after coloring, please give the paper to me, and then you will sit on the mat and read a book, maybe even play with the clay dough, whatever you plan for the child, and etc. And finish till, do the activity till everybody else finishes the same activity. Then make plan for transitions. There will be several times throughout the day when children are transitioning from one activity area to the other room, or from one activity to the other activity as well. Both the things you can do. It's important to have a plan for these transitions. What I normally like to do is, the children don't like to move from one activity to the other without giving enough warning to them. They need to be prepared. They need mental preparation for moving from one activity to the next activity. So what we can do, is a good idea for it is to use counting as a part of your plan. The children are ready to move when their turn comes. You can say, I'm going to count from 1 to 10, and once we count 10, we move to the next activity. So count very slowly, 1, 2, 3, and count to 10. And the kids will be mentally prepared to move to the next activity. So these were the 3 tips that I shared with you all today. But please write to us if you want any more questions answered. And I would appreciate if you could try out these tips at home and let me know. Give us your feedback on what these tips were, how did they work for you. And also, if you've got any more questions, please write to us at theabcdshow6@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you, and looking forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.